Well, I want to expand on that. It's like people know my analogy on this. It's like if you have 5 guys that rob a bank.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and one of them's a German, one of them's a Jew, one of them's an Italian, one of them's an Eskimo, like you said. One of them's a Keebler elf. It doesn't give any one group cover to say there are other groups in the hierarchy. I mean, how do you square this? And I've got Tex Mars coming in tomorrow. I'm going to bring this up to him. He focuses mainly on Israel now. I think that's important work. I've also got Michael Hoffman on for 2 hours Friday, focusing on that. I mean, we're bringing these subjects up. We always have had Tex Mars, and we've always had Galen Ross, and I've always had you on. Yeah. There's no censorship, as others have claimed. I just have a wide show that covers a huge spectrum, but I want to be I want to be very specific on this key point. How do you square the eugenicist? Because I don't talk. People say that I talk about Nazis all the time. Prescott Bush was a Nazi. The Bush Sr. did run the eugenics program. They did sign China on for IMF World Bank money to do that. They do love Arnold. So all I've ever pointed out, and there are a lot of people who love Hitler. They email me, they post on the message board. They say, don't talk about Hitler. He was good. I know too much history. I'm not even talking about skewed histories. I mean, the real history. I mean, Lord Milner wrote that they set Hitler up out of England to tear Europe up. He didn't know that. He was a wind-up toy. Mm-hmm. They put the communists in. All these top globalists write books, and later they get declassified or in policy reports or Carnegie Endowment documents that they are in control of all the groups. Just like this top globalist puts a book out saying we run all the major groups. So then it doesn't even become about this group or that group. Just the entire power structure is run. But is Israel hyper-dominant? Is it one of the top 3, all penultimate? It's like co-equal power with the British Anglo-American power axis, which is basically Rothschild run. Is that merged in with this whole, it's an amalgamation of this Germanic death cult, Illuminati, whatever, which goes back to Kabbalah itself, and that back to Egypt. And we've had the top experts like Hoffman on about this. And so for me, it's that Egyptian dark magic system. Whether you believe in that or not, that's what they believe. George Humphrey.
Well, you've brought up just a ton of issues, and we just don't have the time to go into each, and being very articulate about
I'm not supposed to talk about how Hitler did satanic rituals when it's admitted. I'm not supposed to say that there's a cult going on at Bohemian Grove.
Well, there's cults all over. And
but that's my point, is that there's more to it.
Yeah.
There's another level. Why did Henry Ford, why did the IBM, why is IBM funding all this now when they were Nazis? I'm just saying, why did the Zionists fund Hitler and do deals with him? You see, I'm saying there's another level.
Oh, there's so many levels, and that's why information is so important, and just to keep digging and digging and digging. And again, I don't care whether they're Eskimos or from Australia.
But specifically,
it
is true to say that the Nazis almost overthrew the U.S. in the 30s, and Smedley Butler, 2-time Congressional Medal of Honor winner, went public and exposed it. But that wasn't the Nazis. That was the Anglo-American eugenicist, which the Rothschilds contribute to. That's what I'm saying, is that Hitler, the evidence is, was a grandson of a Rothschild. Well, so I'm saying there's another level here, George.
Well, they're collectivist, whether they're communist or fascist, or they're collectivist. And no matter what the name is, that there are these group of people who want to centralize power under their chosen people and to control us. And that's why we're here. That's why we're fighting this stuff. That's why we're exposing
it. No, it's true. Whether it's the Zionists or the Nazis or the British royal family, they all believe they have the super genes. They're the master race.
True.
They, Old Testament, need to go in and commit genocide to take over the Promised Land. And just like, exactly, that's what we're dealing with here.
Well, that's why we're here. And I'll tell you what, with this radio interview that you have on this woman, I think it's really going to put a good spin on it, and I sure hope that we can get some national publication on this thing, because she, just like John Tower was killed. That's one of the things that most people in Texas are not aware.
They blew his plane up.
They sure did, and they blew his buddy's plane up 2 days before. I mean, this guy is a 24-year senior U.S. senator, and he was absolutely assassinated, and it got 3 minutes on national news, and it was put away. You know, most Texans have no idea that their own United States senator was assassinated, just like most people in Minnesota don't know that Paul Wellstone was assassinated. Friends, you know, as Alex is saying, this stuff is very, very, very serious. You know, they've got the velvet glove on, but they're starting to take the velvet glove off, and it's time to wake up to this.
Well, I just want to say this. We need to list all the globalists, have their names out there so they can be punished for what they've done. And, you know, they're losing their soft power. And there was a reason their older, more sophisticated predecessors had soft power. Mm-hmm. You guys really want to get into a hot war? It's not going to be pretty.
So, Alex, do you think we're going to bomb Iran in the next couple weeks?
I don't know. I've got a guest actually coming up in the 4th hour to talk about that, but let's get your take on the other side. Deborah Jean Palfrey, the D.C.Madam, said here that she would never commit suicide, that if she dies, they would murder her. Well, they've murdered her. We're going to have got that audio coming up. Stay with us. We're going to get into Iran. We're going to do that in the next segment, actually. This is a short segment right now with George Humphrey. FairLove.com, filmmaker, multi-time author. But right now, I want to play Deborah Jean Palfrey. This is her on the show. What was the date on this, John, the last interview with her?
March 13th, 08.
March 13th, 08. So this is...
recent.
Yeah, this is like a month and a half ago. And it's now May 1st, and she's committed suicide on May 1st. And, folks, they've got microwave resonance systems where Mama's out. She's with Mama. They hit her for 10 seconds. She's dead. They got stuff where they can walk up and pat you on the shoulder and you're dead. They got little bitty micro darts that dissolve. Where you think a mosquito bites you and you die. They had that 30 years ago. They had declassified in the 70s, by the 50s, fast-acting cancers that kill you in a month. I mean, they have got it all. Let's go ahead and play her, the clip of her, the clearly murdered, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. Well, the fact that you're so visible really protects you going on Larry King and other big shows, but you want to put it on record that you're not planning to commit suicide?
No, I'm not planning to commit suicide. I'm planning to go into court on April 7th if indeed we do have the trial, and I plan on defending myself vigorously, and I plan on exposing the government in ways that, I do not think they want me to expose them. I want them to explain to me in open court why they came after me.
How does the FBI do this? They know you had a bunch of, government and cabinet and White House and Defense Department people, and they don't go after any of them. They go after you, and then instead of just dropping it and leaving you alone,
they've made a huge mess out of this. They've made it because what I think happened is they used me. I was a hunting ground. I keep using that term because I think it's so applicable. I was a hunting ground. They thought I had something, perhaps. They were watching me for years. Again, they were not watching me for a few months. They were watching me for anywhere from 2.5 to 6 years. I was a very routine person. All of a sudden, here I go, and I abruptly quit the business. Now, if you're watching me from afar, this could be in a very Hoover-esque-like fashion. This could be very alarming. She shuts down the business. She's selling her house. She's moving. Oh, my God, what's going on? They've come flying out here to California. And it was tipped off, by the way, by a wire transfer from my bank.
That's right. They're spying on everybody. Final segment with our guest. She's the D.C.Madam, Jean Palfrey. We'll be right back. This goes deep. It does go deep, and at the end of the show today, I'm going to air the whole interview. It's about 20 minutes long, and over the next few weeks, I will air the other two lengthy hour-long interviews with Deborah Jean Palfrey, unless the networks erase them again. But not John's fault, though. I mean, so much is going on, so much is happening, and I think in that same interview, see if you can find it, John. He's just a superstar. He does the job of 10 guys. See if you can find it where I said, Dick Cheney? And she says, maybe Dick Cheney. And she had said, I'm going to release the big names if you're hypocrites and send me to jail. And I guarantee you, they had her house bugged, they had her phone bugged, they had her mom's house bugged, they use her cell phone to listen to even when it's off. And the minute she said, I'm going to go public, the minute she said that, that's the type of thing that would get a helicopter to come in here and shoot rockets into this office, and it wouldn't matter what the people across the street saw. The government does stuff like that. Say a Palfrey, this is kind of dangerous stuff I do. This is what will get me killed if anything ever does. Palfrey calls here, decides to go on air with the big names. okay, they would have a hit team en route to kill her. If they were unable to kill her before she went on the show, they'd gun her down. It wouldn't even matter. They'd say a gang did it. They would cut the power off at my office. And then if I had been told by her what it was, they would just run over me in the street. Cops jump out, black uniforms, shoot me. Wouldn't matter. The news would say I shot myself in the front parking lot. They don't care anymore. George Humphrey.
Well, it must be remembered, this is going way, way, way back. It's pretty evident that they did the same thing to Marilyn Monroe, is that she was having a lot of trouble and she was going to go public.
And now there's a black and white film that's confirmed with a man sodomizing her.
Yeah, and also
they're using that to blackmail the Kennedys.
Is that there are several women that have been associated with Bill Clinton who also archicide it themselves. So this is nothing new, and but it's today and it's right now, and it needs to stop.
Well, the archicides, I mean, they cut your arms, legs, and head off and say you killed yourself.
Yep.